I don't know how the
strongly.
rap would have gone. I'm not my rap game's a little but
I I think everybody watching this video does not expect us to be great at rapping.
all right, 1996 NFL draft. Five Hall of Famers from this draft. If you know them, that's crazy. But they were Jonathan Ogden, Marvin Harrison, Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, and Terrell Owens. And maybe a sixth, perhaps a sixth on the way.
Very much a sick.
Now, in this draft, there were three running backs taken in the top 14. So we're going back 25 plus years, different game. NFL, everything was a little different. Three running backs. At number six, Lawrence Phillips had some off field stuff, mental issues, ended up passing away a few years ago. But I do want to mention that he was the first running back taken. You may not remember that name from Nebraska. Then number two, another Big Ten running back, Tim Biakabatuka at 8 from Michigan, and then the third running back at number 14, Eddie George from Ohio State. So a lot of Big Ten love, which I love, of course, with the running backs there. So Eddie George, I believe, owns like some grill in the Columbus airport, owns some sort of, he's from
I feel
Columbus.
like you could
He's
slap his name on anything in Columbus and it'd probably
yeah.
do pretty well.
So I'm assuming it's doing great. If you've ever been or you ever stop, let us know in the comments. I'd love to see the. It seems kind of mixed with the reviews that I see on Google, which is very good way to see how it's going. So we'll get back to Google reviews though. That will cut just something to hang out. We'll get back to that.
There's the tease of the century. We'll
There it
get back to
is.
Google reviews.
Yes. But I want to start off with one a really awesome story. I mean, obviously it was very scary at the time. Reggie Brown taken in the first round, 17th pick from Texas A&M by Detroit Lions. His last game of the season, 1997, ended up being completely knocked out. Had to be CPR had to be done on him. He was laid out for over 15 minutes. The same game that Barry Sanders eclipsed 2,000 yards, and they end up being able to obviously resuscitate him, and then with surgery and everything they did, a special brace, he was able to not even have to be in a wheelchair, which
No,
is
it's awesome.
pretty incredible. So Reggie Brown, just to remember of that story, and also just to think about how violent the game can be. Obviously, we don't see that
Yeah.
too often. That's one thing. I even remember, or at least I've seen it before, even though we were
Yeah.
younger. So it's obvious. It's thankfully very rare, but that was one of the
Well, it's great to see
first.
somebody, even somebody who did go through that, which obviously we none of us enjoy that part of it, but somebody who did go through that came out of it. I don't want to say unscathed, but it came out of it, like I said, wasn't in a wheelchair, got to live a fairly productive life doing motivational speaking, that kinds of stuff. So great to see somebody be able to come out the other side of that one.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll let you go ahead.
Yep.
Texas A&M, an Aggie,
Yeah.
going from Reggie Brown to another Texas A&M, which I honestly think that this is one of the coolest ones. So we're gonna
I
get right into
I
the fun right here.
yeah, I love this one. Listen, if anything, we're gonna have some fun with this. So, Jermaine Mayberry, number 25 pick that year by the Philadelphia Eagles, played from 96 2006, so a nice 10-year career. 2002 Pro Bowler, 2002 all second team All Pro, played 123 games. So, listen, had a nice career. Couple things about him. I'm gonna start with a very heartwarming thing, and then what is just fun, and I really enjoyed reading and brought me a lot of joy. Um, yeah, in 1996, so we're talking about the 1996 draft. So this guy's a rookie, just got to Philadelphia from Texas. Obviously, doesn't have a lot of ties to the city yet, other than the fact that they drafted him. They're making his dream come true and all that. Immediately contributes $100,000 to the Eagles Youth Partnership to finance the Eagles Eye Mobile, a mobile unit giving free eye examinations to underprivileged youth. He had a. I'm not even going to try to announce the condition he had or pronounce the condition he
No,
had
go
because
ahead and try.
nope, not going to do that. But he had an eye condition, in one of his eyes, so something that really meant something new. But it's just you would almost expect him to do something like this in Texas. Like he now has money, and you'd kind of expect, oh, I'm going to do this for my hometown people in Texas. But he did this immediately for Philly, and I like that. A guy got to his new city, really like ingraced himself into that city. I thought that was really cool.
Maybe also, I mean, maybe maybe the people in Texas just didn't treat him well though, and he's like, you know what, you're not getting my money. So,
I mean, it's a very real possibility. I don't know why you have to poo-poo on this heartwarming situation, but I guess that's what we're doing today. But in a not so heartwarming, but equally as awesome thing, he established a frozen water ice franchise called Jay Berry's Water Ice. And the thing about this, that's you're like, okay, he did this in 2003. He started a snow cone thing. Who cares? Just think about this. This guy plays in the NFL. Granted, it's not 2022 NFL money, but it's pretty good NFL money. And he can do anything. He can buy a franchise, easy money, all that stuff. No, he just loves snow cones. He's like, I need a snow cone business. And I can't imagine that's a lucrative business to be in. Like, it can't be. But this guy had a passion and he went for it and he started a business in something he loves. And I love that.
Yeah, we got to check this out, this business, and see like
Oh, yeah.
how's it going because I haven't heard of it. I'm not familiar with the
I
business,
mean, let's
but
be completely honest. We don't research here. Whether this business still exists is neither here nor there.
it did exist, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. I want to go ahead and I mentioned Eddie George from Ohio State, and I feel like we're getting kind of removed from the Ohio State, so we got to go back to it. So
We
actually
don't we
had
don't
four
have to go back to it.
Buckeyes taken in the 1996 NFL draft. That's a long time ago.
Those are the undefeated Ohio State Buckeyes, right? That's still happening?
Terry Glenn, Ricky Dudley,
Got off
Eddie
that one.
George, and then Bobby Hoying, which was taken in the third round. Which there wasn't much to say about this. He ended up being in the NFL for I don't know 5 years. Out of the NFL pretty quick from Ohio as well, Ohio man. So of course he's 50 now. That just put that in perspective. How like far that just doesn't seem right. That's a big.
We're old. I
Yeah,
don't know if you realize this.
we're
We're old
getting
now.
up there. But anyways, since leaving professional football, it said that he was a principal. So that one got my eye because I am a former teacher, retired, lasted like 2 years, but I was a math teacher. But
I don't think that's called retirement.
Then I find out it's Crawford Hoying, which is based in Columbus, Ohio, is a full service real estate company. And actually, I've noticed that when I was going through a lot of various players, it seems like real estate is a decent place where people go. I don't know if that's something that's just because of the name. Maybe people know him in Columbus. It's probably pretty easy. Hey, who do you want to sell your house? Oh, the Ohio State quarterback. Yeah, I mean, if you're in Columbus, it's probably a pretty good idea. I guess it makes
Doesn't
sense.
hurt. Doesn't hurt for sure. Yeah. I think it's probably one of those. I know real estate's a business, a lot of who you know or who wants to work with you. So it probably makes it fairly easy for him in Columbus.
Yeah.
You got any
So
other Buckeyes or do I get
no,
to go?
that's all. So you go ahead and go
Okay.
with your Horned Frogs. Go ahead and bring out the TCU.
There's none.
quiz.
Okay. We don't talk about this, but once again, we're living in 2022. One of us is still undefeated. My next one is Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones is actually a guy, pick number 22 out of North Carolina. He's actually the only one of the few ones that I actually remember from his post NFL career because he was on the Ultimate Fighter. He did some MMA, had 6 matches, 4-2. But he was on the Ultimate Fighter, and this was the season with Rampage Jackson. And back when I really was into UFC, Rampage Jackson was my guy. So I made sure to watch the season Ultimate Fighter. Made to the finals, got knocked out there, and then immediately just retired after the Ultimate Fighter. So a very short MMA career, but it's just kind of funny because you can tell the difference between the guys on Ultimate Fighter who need this. Like, this is their ticket. And he's like, nah, I was in the NFL. I've got money. I kind of just did this because I wanted something to do. So, because if you get second in the Ultimate Fighter, you're probably getting a contract. But he's like, you know what? I'm just going to call it quits and spend some time with my family.
It's kind of like American Idol, right?
Sure.
That's how
Sure.
That's the comparison.
Yeah, it's like
For the
American
people
Idol.
that
They
don't-
beat the crap out of each other. Which, if American Idol starts beating the crap out of each other, I will start watching American
yeah,
Idol.
and I feel
That
like
is a
is
promise.
American Idol still a thing? I feel like it
I
might
have
still be. I don't
no
know.
idea.
I really don't know. I felt like that was a show that went on way too long. If it still is on, who knows? They tried to milk that as much as they could. So I don't know anything about UFC really. Sometimes tune in a little bit, but I was late to the party, so I didn't know a whole lot about UFC back then. But something I do remember is this guy out of Michigan, which I've already said his name before, but Tim Biakabatuka. Now he was taken 8th. Not a great career. I think it was all with the Panthers. That's where I remember him. Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's where he was. He was only at the Panthers. Was also drafted in the 6th round of the CFL draft. So I was kind of curious with that. Like, he was taken in the 1st round of the NFL draft, pick number 8. And then I don't know how the CFL draft works, but it feels like a wasted pick, round 6. But
It's a
maybe they're just
publicity
like,
thing.
I don't
It's
know.
a
Yeah, like
publicity
we
thing.
drafted Tim Biakabatuka. But I will say there is some ties, which is what I wanted to get to. I'll get to that in a second. But he resides in North Carolina and owns 8 Bojangles restaurants in Georgia. So I'm not sure why he lives in North Carolina, but owns all these in Georgia. I'm sure there's some connection there. But 8 Bojangles, which is interesting. And he also has a nephew, Jeremy Biakabatuka, who is playing in Canada in the QMJHL, which based on your hockey knowledge, which is very little, but is
Very
more than
slight.
mine because I have no idea what that is, and you think that is that's good.
I think it's one step from getting drafted, but I'm sure we're gonna get some people who are like, "You're an idiot,"
You know what?
which is
So
very.
you know
What's funny? I have a friend who I talk to daily and could text right now who loves hockey and could answer this question, and I did not do that.
You know how many times we've had this conversation about this exact thing that we're saying right now, and we have yet to research what the
No,
QMJHL is.
no. I'm fairly sure that's juniors up in Canada, and if that is correct, I think I know enough to say that is one step from being drafted.
So that's not where is he now? I mean, he is owning Bojangles. That's kind of what he's doing. But I'm sure it seems like he's probably doing
Hey,
pretty well if he owns 8. But I think it's kind of interesting.
yeah,
He's got
we're
some,
just trying to give you some fun facts to
yeah,
bring up
keep
next
the
time you're hanging
Biaka
out with your friends.
Batuka name alive in the
Can you
center
imagine
stage.
if you rip that out at a party? Like, what if Bianca Batuka comes up out of nowhere at a party and you know this fact? You are the smartest person alive. That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to give you random little stupid facts to make you the smartest person alive in a very, very rare situations.
Especially, yeah, if you're in Michigan, like they'll know the name, so it's not even
Oh
like
yeah.
they're not. If you just say Tim Biakabatuka, that might be kind of weird. But if it's in Michigan, they'll know the name for sure. Even in Ohio, they'll probably if they older Ohio State fans, they'll know the name. So yeah, just whip that out. Yeah, not maybe even Canada. So though they
Yeah.
probably know Jeremy.
Yeah,
Based on
they're like,
probably
nobody cares who his uncle
Tim.
is.
Yeah, we don't care about that. Do you have another name before
I
getting
do.
to the? Okay, all
Yes,
right.
I have one more name with like a short, cool fact, and then we're getting to the big dog after that. Pretty excited. So my last one before we get to the reason, honestly, that we picked 1996 is John Michaels. Stayed in the 20s, pick number 27 out of I just but USC. I don't know why I blanked on the abbreviation of that. That makes me look dumb. Played from 96 to 99, so very short career. But in that short career, rookie of the year for the Packers, all rookie team, Super Bowl champion, short but sweet. This guy really got everything out of his career. And then afterwards, did he go off and just kind of not do anything? No. He went to medical school, got his medical degree at USC again, did his residency in Houston. He is now part of the American Board of Radiology and Pain Medicine, and he currently practices spine and pain medicine in Dallas, Texas. Like that feels like a very high, like being a doctor is already, you've like worked much harder than I've ever worked in my entire life. To be a spine and pain doctor, that feels like you have to go to even some more extra stuff. Like if you're going to be messing around with people's spines, you got to be pretty high level. So this guy went to the NFL for a couple years, won a Super Bowl. He's like, all right, did what I need to do here, and then became an extraordinarily high level doctor. I just think that's just that guy just keeps winning. He just keeps doing whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, and isn't he like it's an offensive lineman, right? Like he's like 6'6" or something.
Yeah,
Probably
he's
like
6'7", 300 pounds when he got drafted.
yeah, just like you're going to
Yeah.
see the spine and you're trying to so see him, and this guy just has to like duck under the doors.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm here to like see your spine. Like you're supposed to fix it, not break it, right? Because I mean, this guy like
It would be intimidating if you didn't know what you were about to walk into.
I don't know about your guys' familiarity with doctors, but I haven't seen too many doctors, but there always seem to be, I'm not a very tall person, pretty small guy. They're always smaller than me. They're generally not very, they're just smaller, slim
So
figures.
you're saying 6'7" might be on the higher end of doctor height?
I think that would be probably like the 99 percentile of doctor height. So yeah, so that's pretty awesome. A doctor from the 1996 NFL Draft. The last one that I want to do before we get to the fun stuff. I have Kevin Hardy. Now he was actually taken in the second pick, which is generally a little too high for us to talk about because a lot of times the higher picks you're probably going to make plenty of money. and you're probably doing something in football. His career was not too long. Ended up not doing a whole lot. Once he did make a Pro Bowl though. It wasn't a terrible career. But what I thought was interesting, and the real reason I'm talking about this is because he was taken, like I said, second. He resides in Jacksonville, and he started a club. He built this club called Dream Nightclub, which is centered around this motto: "Reality is overrated." And so, I know we don't usually research here, but with something like this,
You broke our rule. It's
I
fine.
had to research. So I looked this up on Google. The reviews, not great. And one review in particular stood out to me. So I actually started reading the reviews. One review, I'm assuming it was a young lady. It was a lady. I guess I don't know. It seemed like it was a woman. She was saying she was in line and the bouncer, is that what they're called? The people that let them in? Whoever.
You-
The greeter.
The fact that you don't know the word bouncer. I don't even know it's technically the door guy. It's fine.
So he's letting
Butler
them in.
just proved he's
You
never
gotta-
been to
you
a
gotta
club in
pay.
his
And
entire
she
life.
said that the person in front of them paid $40, but then when she got up there, she had to pay $80, so twice as much. And I just have to say, that doesn't feel right. Now I don't know, because I mean, as a man, when I go there, if they tell me, I just assume whatever the price is. I've heard, but going to say it's $100, 200, whatever, I'm paying $100. I'm not getting a discount. I probably could be shredded and the hottest thing ever, and I'm still paying $100. I would just assume that that's a man, just whatever. But women getting objectified like that, we just can't stand for that. So I'm gonna have to give this nightclub 2 thumbs down. DB2 podcast, do not recommend.
Agreed. And I'll have my take on that, but I just want to point something out. The fact that Butler just made it sound like he's ever been to a club A, or especially a club where it costs $200 to get in. He has never been he's never been in front of a club that costs $200 to get in driving by. But besides that, yes, you need to have, I'm used to it. We're dudes. They have a price for guys and a price for girls. That I'm used to. You can't be charging girls out by attractive there. That's just feels like a recipe for disaster. And obviously the Google reviews bore that out. It's just, yeah, that's a crazy move, especially like have a buffer. Have like if you're like, okay, fine, you want to do this. You want to charge women different things. Disagree, but proceed with your job. You have to hope there's a guy in the middle so she doesn't hear that the girl right in front of her.
I mean, you just got to be like this most like confident guy. You're like, I don't care. Like you just don't care. Or just like,
No.
just like, I don't, yeah, they're 40, you're 80, deal with it. You're not as
Do you want to
attractive
come in
as
or
that
not?
one. Yeah. I mean, and I would say no. I would go to a different club. I'm sure they'll treat you better. Sorry that you were treated so bad at the Dream Nightclub.
But you get the last laugh because they are no longer in business. So
let's go.
There's that. So, all right. So now the reason that we picked 1996, and Blair picked it up a little bit at the beginning. He said we might have a 6th. I think it's fair to say that we've got a 6th Hall of Famer in this draft. If not, there is something severely wrong with the NFL Hall of Fame. Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri, you know the name. If you clicked on an NFL video, I promise you know the name Adam Vinatieri. Undrafted. Didn't even get drafted. Hall of Famer. The kicker disrespect is unacceptable. He's a jackrabbit from South Dakota State, so that's awesome. Actually was on the Amsterdam Admirals in the European NFL or whatever they called it at that point. So didn't actually play for him because he got picked up by the Patriots. And I don't know if you know about the pecking order of football, but Patriots are above the Amsterdam Admirals. That is actually a better job. So he chose that one. Obviously played 1996, 2019, retired fairly recently for the Patriots and the Colts. I'm going to go over his highlights real quick, but this guy played not way more, but definitely played more for the Colts. But I think if you asked 100 people what team you like associate him with, I think you're getting 90 to 95 New England Patriots, as long as you're not asking Indianapolis.
Yeah, and I think, the Super Bowl kicks is probably
it's what put him over the top.
But doing it for so long is why you have to be very consistent. Kickers, I think, like it's just so hard year in and year out. Like if you miss a few kicks in a row, you could be out of a
Well,
job. Like to do it
and you're
that
fairly
long.
easy to replace. Like nobody's gonna like go up in arms if you switch your kicker the next year.
Yeah,
Like,
that's one. I mean, is he the greatest kicker ever? Being able to do it for that long, I mean, I feel like
yeah, I
that's
mean,
even though he may not have had the strongest leg, it was strong enough and very accurate. So yeah, I mean, doing it for that
and
long and
yeah,
yeah,
and
that's
just to
pretty.
go over,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, just a couple things. 4 Super Bowls, we all know about those. 3-time first team All Pro, which seems crazy. There's only 3. Like some of these is more like, how was it only that many? 3 first team All Pro, 3 Pro Bowls. Granted, he went to the Super Bowl a lot, so you don't get to go to the Pro Bowl, but I think you still get credit
Yeah,
for being named. So, but most points scored, most consecutive field goals made, most combined regular season games play and postseason games play, most career field goals attempted, those kind of go together. Most seasons with 100 points, most career overtime field goals, most field goals made in a postseason. He made 14 field goals in one postseason. I mean, he went to a lot of postseason, so he got a lot of chances, but just so many records. Really, just a guy goes from, hey, I think I'm going to have to play in Amsterdam to probably the greatest kicker of all time.
yeah, and we'll see if Justin Tucker overtakes him there when he's done. But also, I do want to mention, I don't know if you were done with Adam Vinatieri. We have
I
one
guess
more
so.
kicker that was undrafted, which you probably remember him because he had a decently odd name, I guess, for NFL players. Taken by actually, it looks like the Giants, but then his known. I think most people know him for his time in Miami. Back in the late '90s, early 2000s, Olindo Mare. And now, what's interesting about him, real quick, is that he was featured in a song by, I believe his name is Wally, and it's I kick it like Olindo. And I was thinking about this and I was like, if you were listening to this song, and I remember Olindo Mare, but even I would be like, is that are we talking about a soccer player? Or are we talking about I would have no idea what he was talking about. It seems like that probably did not age too well.
Yeah,
Uh, Probably should have chose a different kicker from this draft class for his song. That would be my guess. Pick the
yeah.
Hall of Famer, maybe.
It seems like it would have held up a little bit
I don't know how
stronger.
the rap would have gone. I'm not my rap game's a little but
I, I think everybody watching this video does not expect us to be great at rapping. I think that's pretty self evident.
anyways, that was pretty fun. I liked looking at the 1996 draft. If you want to see if there's any players that have some cool backstories, let us know down below. We'll look at that, and then maybe just look at that draft as a whole. Let us know, or if there's a specific draft you want us to look at. I think, based on what we've talked about, we're going to see 2001. I know it's kind of weird, but we'll talk
There's a
about.
specific reason, let's be honest.
There's a player in that draft that we want to talk about, but we'll see that next. And like I said, let us know down below if you want to see any particular player draft, and we'll see what we can do. We could probably do it.
Absolutely. Hit that subscribe. We'll do some more drafts. Hit the like. He said, let us know what you want to see. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
See ya.